his mouth shut for too long. He had to say a whole lot. He made a big issue out of the master's action. And he asked Jesus, Lord, are you going to wash my feet? I could see Peter's face looking at his master. No, Master, are you going to wash my feet? Jesus replied, you do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand. No, said Peter, you shall never wash my feet. Jesus answered, unless I wash you, you have no part with me. When Peter heard that, he became excited and he said, then Lord, not just my feet, but my hands and my head as well. In other words, I want you to give me a complete bath. Wash me. But Jesus answered, those who had a bath need only to wash their feet. Their whole body is what? Is clean. And you, Peter, are clean, though not every one of you. So there are others among you who are not clean. Now I want you to pay keen attention. Jesus said, Peter, you are okay. Now he also knew that Peter would have denied him. Am I correct? He knew that. But he said, listen, Peter, you are okay. But there are other persons who are not okay. They are not clean. Verse 11, for he knew who was going to do what? Betray him. And that was why he said, not everyone was clean. So when he had washed their feet, taken their garments, and sat down again, he said to them, do you know what I have just done to you? Let me ask the question. When you come apart at every communion service to wash your brother's feet or your sister's feet, do you know why you do it? Do you know what it means? Do you know what you are doing at all? Is it just another washing? Do you know what I have done to you? You call me what? Teacher and Lord. And you say, well, so I am. If then your Lord and teacher wash your feet, you also need to do what? Wash one another's feet. For I have given you a what? An example that you should do as I have done to you. Most assuredly, I say to you, a servant is not greater than his master, nor is he who is sent greater than he who what? Sent him. If you know these things, blessed are you if you what? Do them. So there is a blessing if you do the things that Jesus did. Now, before I sit down, and I'm not going to be long this morning. I never like to preach long at a communion. Before I sit down, I must highlight a number of important lessons. 4 to be exact. First of all, Jesus claimed to be Lord. Did you get that? Jesus claimed to be what? Lord. In verse 13 he says, you call me what? Teacher and Lord, and you say, well, for so I am. In other words, he says, you call me Lord and teacher. I am indeed Lord and teacher. The statement, Jesus is Lord, means that Jesus is God. Did you get that? Jesus has all authority in heaven and earth. He is our only sovereign Lord. He is, in fact, the Lord of hosts. And here it is that the Lord of hosts stooped down and washed the feet of the one he knew would have betrayed him. Paul amplifies Jesus' claim when he said, who, being in the form of God, did not consider it robbery to be equal with God, but made himself of what? No reputation. When Jesus got up and took off the outer garment and wrapped himself with towel, he made himself of no reputation. And he, taking the form of a bond servant in Jesus' time, they would have employed a servant to wash the feet of guests. But here it is, the master went all the way down, and he was no ordinary master. He is God. He is Lord of lords. He is King of kings. But he went all the way down and he washed his disciples' feet. And coming in the likeness of men, the Bible said, and being found in appearance as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient to the point of death, even the death of the cross, the most disgraceful death that any human being could have experienced during the time of Christ. Brothers and sisters, when we see people in pictures and paintings, and Jesus in particular, when we see them, these paintings, we see something around him. He's tied up and looking all decent and nice and so on. Brothers and sisters, when they are crucified, the entire garment, every